Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video, which is going to be a series of videos leading up to the Xbox release of Flight Simulator 2020, where I'll be showcasing must-visit places in Flight Simulator 2020. Now, of course, I'll be showcasing these must-visit places on the PC version, but the Xbox version should hopefully look similar, or in my case, maybe even look a little bit better. And in this video, I'll be showcasing the majestic Rio de Janeiro. So for the benefit of those of you who will be getting Flight Simulator in the future, perhaps on the Xbox consoles, I'm going to show you how to get to Rio from the world map. So we'll do this from scratch. I'm on the main menu. I'll go to world map, and it'll put me over a part of the world. In the search box here, I'm going to start typing Rio de Janeiro, and that's actually all you need to start. That's all you need to type, Rio de Janeiro. I'll click on this top one here, and it will take me over the Rio region. I'll just use my mouse. It depends. It's going to be slightly different on the Xbox, of course. You'll be using your controller. I'll come to that when the Xbox releases. Over here you've got Sugarloaf Mountain. Around here you'll have Christ the Redeemer statue. This is pretty much downtown Rio. Now, I could take off from an airport straight there. What I find much more rewarding is to take off from an airport further out, because there's a heck of a lot to see on the way to the main sites of Rio. So I'm going to take off from this airport here, Santa Cruz Airport. I'll take off from runway 23, so we'll be taking off and heading this way, and then heading along the coast to see the sights. So I'll click on that one, set as departure. I've got the Cessna selected. Another thing, I don't want to be flying in darkness, and I think it's night time over Rio at the moment, so I'm going to use this time tab here just to forward time. So we get into daylight. That will do fine. And that's all set up. Let's go fly. So I'm all nicely set up on our departure airport in the Cessna 172. I'll jump into the cockpit. I'm not going to make this a tutorial video. For the benefit of PC users, I'll link my guides and tutorials at the end of this video, my playlist. For the benefit of forthcoming Xbox users, I'll be doing tutorial lessons once the Xbox version releases. But I'm just going to throttle up, take off, and show you some of the amazing sights around Rio. So that's enough to take off. I'm going to get my altitude roughly to about 1,000 feet, more or less, just so we can take in some of those wonderful sights. As you can see already, we're starting to get some spectacular views there to our left, which only improve as we get further into downtown Rio. So we'll just come along the coastline here. Look at that already. This is why I find it important not just to take off right down in the center of Rio, taking some of the sights on the way, because they do get pretty amazing, as you'll see. Just ensuring I've taken off that bottom wind layer, which I have now. See some mountains to our distance. It's over these mountains here, which we'll come across, which we'll come over, where you'll find some of the most famous sites: Christ the Redeemer statue, Sugarloaf Mountain, some wonderful sights. But like I said, leading up to it, look at what we're getting. Incredible. And this only gets better. This is like the build-up to the main sort of downtown areas and cities of city of Rio. Really gets very busy the closer we get, which again is why I feel it's important to take off further afield so you can take in some of these sites. Let's get external to show you that in a different viewpoint. And I do expect on my system, at least for the Xbox version, I've got the Xbox S, to look a little bit better, for graphics settings to be a little bit higher than what we're seeing here. Yet what we're seeing here is not too bad at all to my eyes. So you can see more cityscape developing there further ahead. I just think that's, get rid of that mouse pointer, I just think that's spectacular. Just the lead up to it, to the sites. And it opened my eyes and opened my mind to just how large Rio really is. It's massive. And it's not the biggest city in Brazil either. Bringing my altitude down a little bit just so we get to roughly. It doesn't have to be precise for this video. That altitude is about right for me. Let's jump outside again to give you a different vantage. Look at that. Stunning sights. There you got more cityscapes. You'll have taller buildings down there as well. Once we get, like I say, more towards the centre of Rio, it really does start to build up. Of lovely green areas as well in between the cities. Wonderful. And of course I'm just showcasing you this, but if you are flying around this area, you can go off the beaten track, go and explore some of these areas out here, go and explore some of the buildings, go wild. Once you have Flight Simulator, it's up to you. Fly wherever you want to and whichever direction you want to. So we're coming over these mountains, and after this, I think it's a bit further along this way, from memory, we start to see some of the more famous sites like Christ the Redeemer. Altitude's fine. Just going to come down a little bit so we get a closer view of some of these areas. Look at that. Wonderful. And for those of you who are wondering why people are so fascinated in Flight Simulator, it's when you take some of these sites in. In fact, there's many videos, side-by-side comparison videos of real life and cities and places like this, and they look almost identical. In fact, it's difficult to tell the difference between the two of them sometimes, simulated and real life. Outstanding. There you go, you can see a build-up of buildings and houses along the hillside here as well. We'll have to turn left once we get over this mountain. Stunning views. So let's just climb a little bit. And just go. That's the beauty of flight simulation. Just go wherever you want, whichever direction. I'm taking this direction. Over these hills, hopefully. Yep, I'm going to clear them. No problem. And then we'll come to our left and you'll start to see even more amazing sights. You've got the coastline here, of course. Lots of lush green land and trees. Wonderful. I'm highly anticipating the Xbox version. I'm really fascinated to see how it will run, how it will look. I've got high hopes for it. And I'll be revisiting a lot of these sites in the Xbox version as well when I get it. Just to see how they do compare. Glorious. Let's try and find this Christ the Redeemer statue now. It's on a hilltop somewhere. Once we get near it, it's quite obvious. And you've got more towns and cityscapes and buildings along this part, of course. All different sites you can see. And this is the default scenery. So there's no add-ons I'm running here. In fact, I'm not even sure there is an add-on for real at the moment. Not that it really needs it, to be honest. Look at that. In the distance here, you can see different... And like I say, if you fancy going to explore these different parts, I've done it previously. Go ahead. It's your flight simulator. So we'll get towards the Christ the Redeemer statue. And then we'll wrap the video up. But there's more, even past that. When you get to Sugarloaf Mountain and beyond there, you'll find more cityscapes, more buildings, and more fascinating sights to see. Let's give you an external view. That's high enough, I think. This looks promising coming up. And do look around, don't just look forward in a flight simulator. If you're flying over these areas, do look around. That's not Christ the Redeemer statue, by the way. This is definitely on a hillside, and it's quite a prominent feature. Doesn't that look just incredible? So many different features. Fascinating structures. Just wonderful. Real's definitely one of my favourite places to fly around, just to take in the sights in Flight Simulator. In fact, my geography is a little bit off. I believe Christ the Redeemer is over these mountains ahead of us. In the meantime, you start to get more of a build-up of major buildings, sort of skyscrapers, and goodness knows what. And like I say, I don't believe there's a scenery pack available, or maybe I've just not looked hard enough for it. If there is, and if it improves it even more, that would be absolutely spectacular. Let's come to our right here. And do leave your feedback on these videos. Feedback helps me to know I'm going in the right direction. And I'll be interested to know your thoughts. Both existing Flight Simulators, Flight Simulator 2020 users, and future, for those of you who are getting the Xbox version perhaps. What you think of some of these cities and sites we're seeing. So there we go, I'll just fly a little bit further along now. From memory, it's definitely just over these mountains. Just a little bit further along. The sort of main sites, Christ the Redeemer and goodness knows what. But it's a build up to them. When you start seeing some of the sites, some of the towns and houses, and whatever buildings you have along the hillsides there. Wonderful. Ah, look at that. Just the detail there is incredible. This is why this is one of the must-visit places, in my opinion, in Flight Simulator 2020. Let's get some incredible sights. Look at that. Okay, Christ the Redeemer statue, I'm counting on you here. We'll come to the right here to go around these mountains rather than over them, because I'm already at 2,000 feet, in fact. So my initial projection of 1,000 wasn't going to quite cut it, as we do have a little bit of a higher land mass here. Well, isn't that just incredible? Do leave your feedback on this video, please. Outstanding. And just beyond here, gushing over it, just beyond here, hopefully we'll start to see the popular sites, the tourist sites. Let's jump outside. It is around here, I promise you. Look at that. Ah. Wonderful. And I really do enjoy making these videos because I get to revisit and fly and enjoy some of these areas. I'm actually looking forward to this series going on. Always enjoy. Now is it up here? This looks familiar. Like I say, Christ the Redeemer statue is quite a prominent sight once we get near it. Once we get in sight, and in fact, I can see the statue now. Can you see it? Give you a bit of a spoiler, it's there. So we'll fly around there, wrap up the video. Even though I don't want to, I'll probably fly on a little bit after recording because I just love that Look at that. Absolutely stunning. It's why a lot of us who are enjoying Flight Simulator 2020 are loving it. Just because of the sites, the areas that maybe you want to visit. And unfortunately in today's climate we can't really go and visit a lot of these places. We can go and visit them in a Flight Simulator. Still get that incredible feeling from the safety of our own homes of taking in some of these wonderful sights. So there you go, we'll do a quick fly past of Christ the Redeemer here. Incredible statue. Something I would love to see one day in real life, of course. On my bucket list. And then you got the cityscape ahead of us. That's why I say after you've flown here, fly on a little bit and take in some more of the sights. There's a lot to see. Let's get back in the cockpit. Actually, let's stay external for this one. Sorry for messing you around there. Just so we get a good viewpoint, a good vantage point of this statue. There you go. That's Christ the Redeemer statue. Oh, look at that ahead, though. Incredible. Incredible. So, there you go. Fly past. Wonderful sight behind us too, just outstanding. Anyway, there you go. That's the showcase of Rio, or part of it, and you can fly on, like I said. Let me know your thoughts in the video. I'm going to be releasing a few more of these videos, just to give new users, or upcoming users of Flight Simulator 2020, an idea of where you should be visiting, where you should be flying over. Or in my opinion, places that you must visit. Let me know your thoughts, give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon.